I'm gonna take a bike ride around northern Brooklyn in several neighborhoods. The Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, Clinton Hill, and Fort Greene neighborhoods. And this just shows you all the city bike locations. So let's take a ride. Hey there, how's it going? This is Brooklyn. I'm going to take a look at a few more brownstone neighborhoods in Brooklyn. Clinton Hill, Bed-Stuy, Fort Greene, and maybe Crown Heights. So let's go. Well, the name of the hardware store tells you we're in Clinton Hill on Fulton Street. This is another street in Brooklyn that used to have an elevated line above it. You can hear the subway that runs underneath it now. And let's go down this a little further and then we'll cut north. Sometimes it seems like this street is becoming hipper and more gentrified, and then other times it looks like it's stuck. So it has potential, but the change hasn't happened quite as fast as I thought it was going to here. Go up one of the brownstone blocks. Now, a lot of these streets I have not been on before, so it's new to me too. I've definitely been in this area. It's a beautiful new building. Powerhouse block of brownstones here. There's a rare standalone house, an old Victorian. Another old Victorian with the Hudson River mansard roof. Pretty cool. Here we are at Gates and Cambridge Place. Looking down Gates Avenue. And the other way looking west. So we're about ready to go here. Beautiful. So whether it's brownstone or it's brick or it's wood cladding, it all goes together. Just beautiful, beautiful street. It's tough to know where to point the camera. It's beautiful everywhere you look. Nice stoops. So this is Green Avenue coming up. Let's see where we'll go. Take a quick right here. Beautiful flowers. Wow, look at this beautiful building here on the left. Wow. I'm so glad I took this bike ride. This is really something. Look at this modern building built in here. Fitting in with the old. Classen Avenue will go north on Classen, which is to the left. And I'm going to have to tighten my bike seat. I can feel it wants to drop down. Okay. Stay on the bike path. Clifton. We've got nothing on Clifton. Let's check it out. I've never heard of Clifton. A little bit of wind today in spots. I think people who live here are pretty lucky. Pretty beautiful neighborhood. Now, Clinton Hill also has a historic district designation in parts of it. I think that's what the brown street signs mean. It means it's a historic district as opposed to green street signs, which are the regular color. So some houses need to be fixed up, some are being fixed up. This looks like it was a school. Is it still a school or is it now residential? Alright, we have to go left. St. James Place. Love the ivy colored walls. Let's see, we'll go back on Green Avenue here for a little bit. Look at this beautiful block though, straight ahead. And we'll go right here on Washington Ave. That was the B52 bus. Probably comes from downtown Brooklyn, where you can get a lot of buses that go out to the surrounding neighborhoods. Now that's a branch of the Brooklyn Public Library. It doesn't fit in at all. Lafayette Avenue. Beautiful old church here. Two beautiful churches. So yeah, it says Clinton Hill Historic District. So we're still in that. One of the local subway stops, Clinton, Washington, on the G, which is now a popular line. It's the only line that doesn't go to Manhattan. It just stays in Brooklyn and Queens, mostly Brooklyn. Single-family homes that are equivalent to mansions that were owned by prominent business people back in the day, in the late 1800s and into the early 1900s. And then chances are those mansions are usually broken up into individual apartments. Nice wide street. Middlebury is a east-west street that is closed off for the open cities open space program. Let's go down it. There's some new affordable housing. By new, I mean built in the latter half of the 20th century. They're not full-on housing projects, but they're on the affordable side. We're going by the outskirts of Pratt Institute, which is a beautiful school. It's a very highly regarded art school and architecture. And the campus might all be closed due to COVID. But it's in a beautiful area. I know certain friends of my daughter were investigating whether to go to Pratt or the Rhode Island School of Design. So that's the league that it's in. So let's see here, we'll go up a little further and then we're gonna head back west. We're headed east right now. Since 1855. I like some of the new buildings, like this gray one up here, the modern buildings that jut up. I'm not saying they fit everywhere, but they fit a lot of places. And they often have balconies. So Myrtle Avenue is the main commercial street. We'll take that back west. Or maybe we'll go east here first. So pretty sure we're in Bed-Stuy now. Bedford-Stuyvesant. Let's see how that's looking lately. Taft's Place, 2 A's and 2 F's. down a little bit further here, just to give a flavor. Franklin Ave. Some of these apartments, they're usually resided in by Hasidic families. It's their kind of style of architecture. So here's the Bedford and Bedford Stuyvesant. We'll go across and then we'll go north. Now Bedford, going north, becomes the main street of Williamsburg. So it becomes very trendy and hip as you go further north. Definitely not everybody's architectural style. Not my taste. Okay, so Flushing Avenue, we'll go left here. Flushing and Bedford Avenue. Definitely not in Brownstone, Brooklyn right now, but we're headed back that way. New construction here on the left at Franklin Avenue. Big project. Must be apartments. Kent Avenue runs right along the Brooklyn Navy Yard on the east side. That's for another trip. This is the Brooklyn Queens Expressway going overhead. We'll see a little bit of the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Okay, now that we've gone underneath the BQE. This is part of the Brooklyn Navy Yard. But you might have caught a glimpse of some older buildings. It used to be a naval hospital for the military. So a lot of the original structures from the Navy Yard are still here, and a lot have been knocked down and new buildings built in their place. And it's now an industrial / office park. There's even talk of having movie studios in the yard. It would be Steiner Studios. You might see their name on one of the buildings here. They fixed up this building here, I believe, just like a 1940s era. There's Washington Avenue, which we were on before. Steiner Studios, yep. So we'll go up 1 or 2 blocks more past here, and then we'll go south, but going up the hill, up Clinton Hill. Left over from the Navy Yard days. They don't fix up ships here still. They could. The dry docks are still here. There just must be a call for it elsewhere. There's the Clinton Avenue gate. We'll go up Vanderbilt Avenue. Next street. This building, this large building here, they just recently, it used to be a solid brick walls, and they replaced the solid walls with glass walls. And they blocked it all up back in the day because they were afraid of the German Navy bombarding it. I mean, the German Navy during World War II was all the way over here on the east coast of the U.S. So Navy Green is a fairly new apartment complex. It looks like it could be a club. It has no name. It used to be that the BQE elevated highway here running through the neighborhood was considered to be a detriment to the neighborhood, but the real estate market is so strong in New York that it's no longer viewed as a hindrance to people wanting to live. It's not ideal, but it's not a showstopper like it used to be. And this is Park Avenue, that I think used to be a very prominent street with big mansions, wide, maybe with an esplanade in the middle, but it's where they built the BQE, right down Park Avenue, in Brooklyn anyway. Not to be confused with the Park Avenue in Manhattan. I think these houses were, there's talk about them being knocked down so that a development could be built here, but I think they were saved, fortunately. There's a house for sale. You could look it up on Zillow. It's probably worth a couple million. That's what brownstones go for, at least $1 million, because it's pretty close to the BQE, but probably closer to 2 million at least. Another new modern apartment building squeezed in here. I think it's nicely done. Gas station here next to this depressing mural about the next Great Depression coming. Myrtle Avenue again. A lot of people live in Brooklyn. It's the most populous of the 5 New York City boroughs, with about 2 to 3 million people. With many different, very nice neighborhoods. This is a good restaurant. We're on Vanderbilt Avenue and they have outdoor eating. Graziella's. Been there. Very nice. There's another college in this area besides Pratt Institute. There's also St. Francis College. And they've recently built some new buildings, so they're growing. DeKalb Avenue. We're now in well, it's a question of whether we're in Fort Greene or Clinton Hill. I'll have to get out my map later, but it could be right on the border. Fort Greene to the right, Clinton Hill to the left. Like a cathedral. This church is so big. Lafayette Avenue. I've always liked this yellow house here on the corner. I forget who once owned it, but there was a story about it recently. There's a good blog to read about various places of note and what's currently happening, both in real estate and general goings on. I highly recommend it. It's brownstoner.com, and it has links to all the other newspapers and websites daily updates on what they're writing about Brooklyn. So they'll have links to articles in the New York Times, the New York Post, the New York Daily News, the Wall Street Journal, and various real estate blogs. So I always check it every day, and there's usually something of interest. Usually several things of interest. I just don't have time to read everything that's in it, but it's very good. Brownstoner.com. If you want to do your research before you come to New York, it's a great source. Okay, now we're back to near where we started. And this is some new construction here on Fulton Street, brand new apartment buildings. I think it might be fully occupied already, but and then this other new one across the street. They're both well done, I think. And there's some nice restaurants in this particular area of Fulton. You got Turkish, you got Mac Shack. There's a Thai restaurant. I love Thai. And various other places. So we're gonna take our city bike back. I love this building, by the way, here with the round top and the Romanesque first floor. That's another building where like they have a story about it in Brownstoner in their archives. So if you ever want to know more about the history of a certain building, you might check that website afterwards and read about who lived there and who built that house. So here we are back at City Bike at the dock that I started from. I just want to show you a little thing how City Bike works. When you bring the bike back, it's the same when you take it out. When you bring it back, the little light has to turn green. I'll show you. See? Then you know your bike has been received and recorded. All right. Another warm day here in July 2020, and I hope you enjoyed this tour of some very different neighborhoods all in one general area. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.